Alright, so this is the indexing system which is saved in the recipe. So you'd save it in the recipe here, but these timers and everything refers to that recipe. So whatever your bottle is, it will be saved under that. So here you have index mode or you have run mode. If you have run mode, means the conveyor will stay on during the cycle. During the full, it will be on run. The conveyor carries on running. In index, what that means is it will wait for the set of bottles to come in. So the conveyor starts up, brings a set of bottles in, bottles get filled, conveyor stops, bottles get filled, and then the conveyor starts up again and it exits with a full set of bottles, and then so on and so on. So that's called indexing mode. This would be the speed of what the conveyor actually runs at, which is now set on 50%. These are all changeable. You can just change them. You hit your enter button and it will save it. Your index delay here, once a set of bottles are in and it's time that it's been filled, what will happen is the nozzles will lift up. Once they hit the top level cylinder sensor, the machine knows that it's in, the nozzles are up, and then the bottles will take off. This timer here just gives it that delay, so we always have a bit of a delay so that we're not taking off straight away after we filled. We allow the nozzles to get up first before we take the bottles out of the indexing, out of the full area. Okay? This index time is the amount of time that the full bottles will take to actually exit out of the two gates. So where you've got your out gate and your in gate, that's the amount of time that those bottles take to travel through that distance. Okay? The in-feed extend delay, this is the one that once all the bottles are in, and both the sensors are seeing that there's a full set of bottles inside of the actual full area, there's a delay which is your outgate delay, which will actually close and say, okay, I'm ready, bring the nozzles down, I've got full set of bottles in here, let's fill them up. The gate gap is so when the outgate opens up to when the in-gate opens up, and this timer will allow the gap between the two sets of bottles. So meaning if you increase that, obviously you're going to get a bigger gate gap. If you decrease it, you'll get a smaller gate gap. The downstream backup eye, that is the one that will back up any bottles if there's some kind of a delay in the downstream equipment. The bottles will automatically start backing up. This timer here, built-in safety, it will stop the machine and it will say, okay, clear the backup first before I send more bottles. But before the backup light or the instruction comes on to stop the machine, it's got a timer there of 1 second. I think it can go up to 10 seconds on that. Sometimes you would be able to use that timer, but very rarely do they use that timer, because once there's a backup, there's a backup, right? Okay, so here, these are just the index sensors. So first of all, if the nozzles are not coming down, you want to know what's going on, the first thing I'd do is I'd come here and I'd have a look at these sensors. Now if it says clear, that means there's no bottle there, or the sensor's not reading the bottle properly. So always check that that is green, and that is green when you want to start filling. The downstream will be green, but it's saying it's clear, so that's a good state for it to be in. Just carry on rolling the camera. I'm gonna just on that, I'm gonna go block the downstream photo eye, and you'll see it will turn yellow. Okay. Alright, so that's just to explain that. And then you've just got your manual controls here for conveyor, and that's in-gate, in, out, out, in, and that's, I just want to show you quickly the in-gates. Just to confirm that, these would be your two sensors, your in-gate sensor, your out-gate sensor, and then that over there is your downstream sensor. This is your in-gate, your in-feed, and that's your out-gate. So that's just to explain which one is which. This machine is rolling from right to left, but most of the times we have, well, actually 50-50, we have from left to right as well. then everything gets opposite. So that would be in-gate and out-gate. So this is the filler screen. This is where your pump stages are. So you've got stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. These are the speeds at which this pump will run. So they're starting it off at 35, 55, 20. So it's slow, fast, and slow. Okay, these here are the pump counts. So you can do a global pump count, which will be over here. So at this stage, I'm going to just do this for the demonstration. At the moment, it's all 1200. If I hit this here and I say accept, they're all going to change to 1500 because it's a global setting. Now, you can do individually. You can also set them individually. If I needed like an extra 50 on this one, then I just individually can go in and do each one. These live counts here, they will always be different to what you set. So this was set for 1200, and you can see that it's 1238, 1240, 1234, 1230. So it's always a little bit more because these are the actual live counts from the encoder, giving it back to the machine. So if you had to say here, for argument's sake, there might be one that's saying 800, and it's not going, then you could say there's something mechanically wrong with that, and then we could troubleshoot it that way if we can see those numbers. But that's just from a maintenance point of view. But that's a good function to have because you can always see if one of the pumps are acting in a different way. You'll be able to pick it up from that there. So I'm going to just put that back to 1200 again. That will change here to 1200, and then I'm going to say accept, and then they should all change back to 1200. Same as the pump speeds, you can do a global change on here. So at the moment they've got 15, 15 and 15, and you can see all the numbers here are different. The minute I hit accept, I'm just going to do it on one demonstration. So I hit accept, this is going to be for stage 1, and it's going to change it to 15. So they all change to 15. Okay, so you can do it like that. Now generally speaking, these will all stay the same. You won't have one pump going at 15 in first stage and then pump number 4 here at 20. They should all be the same because it's the same product that you're putting in, so you want all the nozzles to kind of behave the same way. So let's just put that back to 35, which it was at. Okay, must hit accept, otherwise it won't change. These are the stage full times that you're in there for. So that's 20% of the time that I'm in there, I'm at 35% speed. When I'm in, then when it goes over to the second stage, I'm in there for 60% of the time at 55%. So I'm filling up majority of the bottle with 60% at 55%. So in other words, the time, most of the time is 60% at 55% full speed, if you want to call it that. Yep. And then here it's only 20-20, so that means you're kind of finishing this bottle off at a very slow speed and a little low percentage in time as well. That's that one. That's all the explanation on that one. And then, oh, there's one more thing here. You can actually switch off one pump. If it's behaving in a way that you're not sure what's going on, but yet you've got to carry on with production, you can always deactivate the pumps and they'll switch off. So the rest of them will carry on running, but these two will now be switched off. And you just put them back on. So from the home screen, you'll see on the top here, you've got the CIP, which you'll select. These are your float sensors to tell you where it's where the fluid is. In the safety float will always be in the up position when there's product in, or your cleaning agent will be in there. So in other words, safety float being up, meaning that I have product in there at the moment, same as my level float will be up. Now the overflow float here will activate when the CIP is in the spray ball function. So the spray ball function will actually fill the tank up until you get the overflow up in the green position, meaning it actually goes past this float level, and so then there's more cleaning agent in there to be able to clean the tank out completely. The pumps that you'd enable, in this case it's 10, so you would have all 10 would be activated. The pump speed at which you are actually doing the whole CIP, you can actually change that. You can put it down to 50%. If you see 50% is not good enough, you can go up to 80% or even 100. So let's escape out of that. We can even make that 100%. So selecting that there. These are manual controls again. You can actually manually control them, and actually on the tank drain, once you've filled up when these are all green and you do a manual tank drain, you'll just hit the tank drain button and you'll be able to see the valve at the back will open up and all the product will actually just leave the tank. Again, when you're using the spray balls, that would be a external pump that will be supplying the product into the tank. So whatever your supply tank pump is, that's what you'd be using over there on the spray ball one. Again, we'll have to go back to the back of the machine and we'll show you that. Okay, here we have the spray ball valve. When we activate it on the touch screen in front, this valve opens up. This is to the pump, which then will supply that spray ball valve. It will go up and then into this manifold and then into the top of the tank. So this lid would be on top of the tank and that would be connected over here. And so you would have that spray ball at whatever speed you adjust on your pump. Depending on what pump you have, you can actually adjust the speed to higher or lower, depending on how fast you want these balls to turn. And that's it. So you'll have that coming from the top. And so that overflow float that I spoke about earlier on will actually fill this tank up higher than the normal fill level is. And that's when you're in the CIP mode. The tank drain valve, which is over here, is the one that when you activate it, all it does is it opens up and the product that is in the tank will actually come through the valve and drain out to your drainage system. And then just to go over the clean flow here, this is your gallons per minute, what's actually recorded at the back of the machine. You'll have that over here which you can actually just observe what it's doing. Then here is your timer that you can actually, so if I wanted to put in 5 minutes in that, I'll actually have, that will change to 5. They had it on 3, but sometimes it's always recommended to use about a 5-minute clean time on that. And that's it. We've already drained the tank from the product, and at the moment Calvin is filling this the hot water in here because this particular product cleans better with hot water. So just for the sake of the training video, this is being done with a hose, but in future, obviously at the customer's facility, this will be directed into, I'll show you here down the bottom, through the either through the product valve or it's going to be the spray ball, and then so you'll either do it through those two valves. Generally speaking, if you're going to fill up the tank with the cleaning solution, it will be through the product valve, and it will just open up and basically fill the tank up. And that's where these two floats come into play. The one float is going to be your product float, and then this is the overflow float that will actually, if I take this off to show you, so that's a much higher float. So if you were to picture that, the level of this would go all the way up to the top there. Now that would be your cleaning solution that pulls up to that. Let's go to the touch screen. Okay, so under normal circumstances, I would hit the fill button here now because that's what he's doing with the hot water hose. He's filling that up, and then that would go up to the, so first of all this will turn green, then the next one will turn green, and then the overflow float will turn green. That means that one that I just showed you now, that's the one that's going to have the highest full level of cleaning solution. Then what you would do is you would let that soak. You could let that soak for 5 minutes or whatever, or 3 minutes or so, and then you would hit your tank drain. So now we're going to hit the tank drain button, okay, and then we're going to go around to the back of the machine. The tank drain valve now is open. If you can see it at the back somehow, but anyway, what happens is when I hit activate it on the touch screen, it opens that up, And then at this stage we're actually having to pump it out because this product has to go back to the customer, which is in another state. We can't get rid of it here, so what we're doing is we're pumping it out. But on a general setup, you're going to just drain this down into your tank, wherever your drainage system is. And that's basically that on the tank drain side of it. So if you look inside the tank, because of our setup, we've just used the hose, and basically that's one of the rinses that we've done. So basically what we had here is we had the spray balls that rinsed first, and then we had a little bit of hot water to assist taking this product off. Okay, so now we're going to do some spray balls. So I'm going to activate the spray balls here, and product pump is on. There you go. Product valve should be open. This is just a manual spray ball. So what we got now is we got the pump directly connected up to this valve here, and the cleaning agent is going through here now, and it's going through the spray balls. I can't open up the lid because otherwise the spray ball is spraying water right now. It's going to come all over us. But trust me, these things are working right now. And actually, the faster you go with your pump, the more vigorous the spray balls will clean. Now once these spray balls have filled the tank and everything's been finished there, we're going to now clean out the nozzles. So if you have a look at what Calvin's doing over there, he's connected up the hose onto nozzle there and an empty container, and we're going to, each one is going to be done now individually. So I open up the nozzle top, and then the pump comes on. And you can actually see here, the water is now behind it, and it's pushing the product out. And you should see some water start coming out there anytime soon. This is another function that we have, which is called the blow-off. So what happens there, once I activate that, we've got a hole in the bottom of these nozzles here, and this line over here that's blowing out the product there. So if there's ever any product at the end of the tip, it will just blow it off. And that's what that's doing right now. We've just done the nozzle 3 there, so we'll go through all the nozzles and we'll blow out all the product that's in there still. And once that's finished, then we've done the fluid path clean. And then, you know, you can take the nozzles off and you can clean them further if you want. But generally speaking, with this product and the hot water, this should be suffice to be able to put the next product in and carry on with the next product. Okay, so the final part of the CRP, it's now where you have to break these like huge shapes up here. Actually, what's happened now, you've got water and cleaning agent trapped underneath here. The fluid path, the tank, everything's been cleaned out, so that's all good. Now we just got to get rid of this excess water that's in here and down at the bottom. And the way you do that is you just break these open here, these sanitary clamps. And you'll see, you know, you've got all this that's in here that's going to bypass through here, and probably want to open this up here like that, and so that's going to get rid of everything that's inside there, and then that's what you're seeing there is the excess coming out of the fluid pad from the nozzle. And then that's going to be washed away in maybe like a wash bay area or something. And then you just, once it's all clean, you just put everything back on. And these covers, kind of just let gravity do all the work here. And that cover also comes off, and then these are removable, but if you had something that you could just spray in here, like a little hand pump spray, and you could, but depending on the product what's in there obviously, but these will be able to come out and be able to wash separately. That cover gets washed out and everything gets put back together, and that will be the last part of the CRP that you'll be doing. Once that's all done, you can then fill up your product, take it to the tank, the next product that you go to, and yeah, all is good. That's it.